Hey, it's Fred. This is episode 281 of the Cultra Trail Running Podcast.
From the belly of the Beast Coast, Glastonbury, Connecticut, this is the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. We talk about all the fun shit that happens on the trails that most normal people don't care about. The language we use is fucking explicit and raw like the trails we run on, so don't listen with your kids! Cultra is brought to you by our Patreons and supporters, and we are 112% listener supported, and support is good.
All right. Thank you, Fred. That was a very professional introduction there.
Well, I'm a professional.
You are.
Not a professional introducer, but
if nothing else, you're a professional introducer. True. So welcome everybody to the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. I'm your host, Art Byram, and I am joined tonight by one member of the Cultra crew. But he's here.
I'm here.
Fred Marolo.
I am here.
So
good thing I showed up, huh?
That's right. You know what? They say
really
half of the battle is showing up, half of the battle is keeping moving, and half of the battle is mental.
That's right.
It's that's what they say. So I guess Celeste is a DNS. Becky dropped her registration. She canceled her registration for tonight. So I knew that was happening. But Fred and I are fucking so geared up tonight, we can't even contain ourselves.
We are psyched.
Yeah. So if we're psyched, you should be too, right? Or I'm not going to tell you how to feel. Like, you guys can, I'll tell you what, spend the next 4 hours listening to this episode, and then you can decide yourself whether it was all worth it.
Are you psyched? My son, when he was in the Little League, had a teammate. You know, there's always one teammate who's very enthusiastic. And this teammate used to turn to the rest of the team and shout, "I'm fired up. Are you fired up?" Over and over. I mean, like 20 times each inning.
You need that. We got to get fired up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sometimes you do. And sometimes you got to just I don't get fired up before races usually. I kind of play the anti-fired up card.
Okay.
You know, I get up to the starting line and I'm just like, okay, ain't no big thing. I'm going to just,
Middleman.
Yeah.
I'm low burn.
I'm going to just got 1 mile to run. Right.
Right.
It's going to take me all day to do it. So have one job, just going to pay attention to what's going on. So tonight we have a lot of fun things to talk about. We're going to, first we're going to kind of review this article of 5 things I still believe are true about ultra running by Brendan Leonard. I think you guys will enjoy that. We're going to just look at these 5 things, see if they make sense. Then we're going to talk about something called love trails. Sounds
not
dubious.
Love Train, people, not Love Train,
and not train, Love Shack
or Love Shack, right?
Oh yeah, the Love Train.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about Camille and everything that happened over the last 6 days, right? And then we might even talk about our Patreons tonight.
Really? Wow.
We'll see. If we have an extra hour or two, we'll do that. So,
yeah.
Right. I mean, Cultrabot's basically, he's been just cleaning up lately. So I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the Cultrabot rendition at the end of last episode.
So Cultrabot is kind of like a vacuum cleaner, just cleaning up things.
Yeah. No, he read he did. I have to say, it was probably one of his better renditions of the Patreon. So
he does a pretty good job, I have to say.
He does. It's like he's like a machine. Wouldn't you say?
He's the Roomba of vacuum cleaners. He's like self-propelled, just does it all. All right.
Yep. So these are all the things that we got to talk about. Oh, plus, I think first we have to also recognize Sophia Loren, who ran the Pistol 100, right, this weekend. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yes, she did.
I read. Did you read any of the details on that?
I
Not to
did.
make it a quiz. Why
I
don't you tell
did.
us? Mm-hmm.
She told us that her original goal was 24 hours, but she did in 26 and change, and a good time was had by all.
Mm.
The end.
So let me just think about this a little bit. If she did it in 26 and change, wasn't it daylight savings time too this
Yeah,
weekend?
even figuring in the daylight savings time. It wasn't really secretly 25, but she had lost an hour or something.
Well, I think technically, I don't know. I think we got to take an hour off of her time at least, right? For daylight savings time. I mean,
Sure, why not?
because she saved it, right? So
She
um
saved time. Like
yeah,
a stitch in time, she saved 9. Yeah,
and she sprang ahead. Hold it, and she sprang ahead an hour, so that's another hour off, right?
right.
Because she saved and sprang forward. So I think
At
it's
the same time.
basically it's pretty much a sub 24. I think if you think about it. So
I like it. Works for me. Good job
um
anyway. Whether it was sub 24 or 26, great job, Lauren.
yeah, a nice PR, right?
Yes.
So all right, well, let's get down to it here. So the first thing we're going to talk about, unless Fred, did you have any other things to talk about? Like that you gotta like I got something to talk about actually. So
Do you have anything to talk about? No, I
I,
have something.
yeah, I do. So if you have something to say, let me say something first, okay?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe.
Yeah. I had a chance to run out on the Metacomet this weekend. I did the Metacomet Timberland loop up by Castle Craig, and I was with Ultra Walker. So Andy Cable and I
Oh,
a had a 15-mile jaunt in the woods.
now
So
did he reconsider his attempt at the cut 112 after seeing the really hard part?
no, he took it all pretty much in stride, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah. I made him run and everything, Fred. You should have seen it. It was pretty good, you know. So
We run a couple miles every time we go out for a walk. And the last time I was running a little harder, like, I don't know, like at 10:45 or something. He was like, whoa,
mhm.
whoa, whoa. I thought we were going to do like one of those like 13-minute mile runs.
Yeah,
Not this.
not the speed demon shit.
Yes, they're like, yeah, right. Speed demon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that was fun. That was
That's
fun. It
good.
was
So he's reconning the course, huh?
yeah.
He's getting furious.
Yep. Yeah, I because you have to know, I think for anybody out there running the cut 112, makes sense to get to know the course, right?
Yes.
Because do
All
you
the
know how
people who've been successful, all the people I know who've been successful knew the course.
yeah. Do you know how many like markers or confidence ribbons and things like that are on the course, Fred?
Well, the confidence, like those plates, like in Vermont and stuff like that, the ones that the RD puts out,
Yeah,
I
or the
would say
pink ribbons.
all of them are,
Guess
they're all out there.
how many miles of pink ribbon do you think we put out on the course?
As many as are necessary.
Take a wild guess. How many?
I'm going to say probably like 0.
Fucking none, Fred. That's
That's
the
right.
answer. Fucking zero.
That's right.
Nothing. And why is that?
You know your course. This isn't like hand holding. This
That's
is
right.
graduate level people.
We're not a bunch of crying bitches,
That's
right?
right.
I mean, we don't allow that shit, right? So, like, you got to know your course. It's like Blue Blaze from here, you know,
All the way to
from the
there.
Massachusetts border all the way to the Long Island Sound. So 112 miles. You follow that. There is one turn. And at times we did put one year, we put a sign on that tree. So
Right down near the coast, that one where the people
no, where the
with the
Metacomet and
runway.
the Mattabesit converge. There's kind of a fork in the trail
Okay.
and you have to take it. So
I was gonna say, you know what Yogi said, right? You come to the
yes,
fork, you take it. Yes.
that's right. Yeah. So you have to make the right, not the left. If you go left,
Isn't there a sharp right that people have missed down near the coast?
oh, there's all sorts. If you don't miss like a turn or two, you're not doing it right. I mean, come on, really?
All right. Okay.
Like, yeah. Some people get to see the eyeballs. That's a sign that you're off course. If you see the Connecticut River, That's a sign that you're off
Also,
course.
you're pretty far off course, probably, right?
You are. You're still on the New England Trail, but you made a left at Albuquerque where you shouldn't have. So
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
and that's the one thing we don't. I usually make an announcement about that turn. So on the course, but anyway, there was this article that I saw, and it does. I don't think that it has anything that's earth shattering in it, and some of this just might seem self evident. So I thought that maybe we could give a rating of like one being I totally disagree. This is fucking bullshit. To an 11.2, meaning that I believe in it 112%. So, and here are the different things. So this is an article that was put out by It's Outside Online by Brendan Leonard. So hopefully, like, if I said that he plagiarized it, would that be like, could we get sued if I were to say that?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not really saying it. You're just
I'm not saying that.
Somebody might have said it.
That's right. That's right. So he came up with these 5 things. Here's some things I tell myself if I could travel back in time about ultra running. And this was published yesterday. And number 1 is you pack your fears, meaning that like early on, the more nervous you are, the more shit you try to bring with you, like a lot of people do. So
yes.
What do you?
I believe Scotty has weighed in on that, and I think he said you pack your insecurities, which is pretty much the same thing.
Right?
Yeah, and it is true. I mean, you know this, or like the first time I know this. The first time I went to 100, I filled my car with. I brought like 6 pairs of shoes. I bought all manner of shit, and yeah, because I didn't know.
What did you do the 11th time? Your 11th 100?
I just hadn't. I'm like, I probably drove ready to run and just ran the race, and then just like drove home in my crappy, smelly clothes.
I wish I could do that, but I guess I'm just like a chicken shit scared runner because like I still pack too much. I just can't fucking help it because I'm like, okay, I just want to keep it simple. You know, it's like Steve Martin, the jerk. Like, all I need is this thermos. I don't need anything else. I don't.
And you've been dragging the lamp around with you? Is that it? Like,
yes.
This lamp, right?
That's right. And this lamp and this and, you know, everything. And I keep adding one little thing after another. And somehow then the gear becomes the problem because then you can't find your shit because you have too much in your pack sometimes.
Yes. You know? Yeah. You want to keep it as simple as possible. One year I did the TGNY and I took the train. So I drove to West Haven, hopped on the train to Grand Central with a backpack, and everything I was like wearing went into the backpack, and everything in the backpack I put on, and I brought nothing else with me. I had a hydration vest kind of thing, filled it with water. And, you know, you have a few bucks and you stop at convenience stores, and, you know, it was great. And I hopped on the train. I did not change back. I just hopped on the train with my backpack and arrived back in West Haven all smelly and blistered and stuff and smiling. It was good.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've done that here and there. But I have to really think about it to do that. Like, because the problem that I get is that if I don't plan it out, like there's that fine line of like planning things. For some people, planning things means like over planning and taking too much and overthinking it. For me, that's the simple thing to do. Because
you'll end up with shoes, so you won't like just end up barefoot or something, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. If I think about what I need exactly before I start packing, make a list, and then I'm meticulous about this. Okay, I'm taking this headlamp, and I'm putting it in. Good. Otherwise, I'm like, it's like me walking through the convenience store. I'm like, let's see. Oh, Swedish fish. Good. I fucking love Swedish fish. I'm getting a big bag. Oh, look at that Gatorade. I'm really thirsty, so I'm getting 2 of those. Chocolate Bugles.
Chocolate Bugles.
How bad could they be? And pretty soon I can't even carry everything that I have, and I can't eat it right away, and it's trouble. So, you know, and so, but I'm much better off like the runs that I've done where I said, okay, I'm going to run, and let's say that it might take me, worst case scenario, this run's going to take me 24 hours. So I figure, okay, 400 calories an hour, and then I pack that many calories exactly instead of just, I used to just pack to like fit as much shit in my pack as I could possibly get in there. And instead, I had, when I did the North South Trail, I just kind of looked at it, planned out the calories, and I was very happy with my packing. I got everything I needed, just enough Desitin, one tube for the run.
So you weren't completely white that time? That's what you're
No,
saying?
I was, believe me. I needed it. It saved my feet. It really saved my feet that night. It was just miles of trenches of water, big, big, big puddles. Like kind of like this weekend was like that. So
Right.
so I don't know. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll agree with that. You pack your insecurities or your fears, right?
And the more times you do it, like a hard race, like a multi-day or 100 mile or something, the less you tend to pack because you know what you need and you know what you don't need.
Are you talking Vol State?
Well, with Ball State, I probably packed too much, but I'm just thinking of like when I would do the 6 day at the fair, I
Mm.
didn't bring that much. I brought 3 pairs of shoes because sometimes it rains and your feet will get wet and then you have to like swap them out. Other than that,
See,
I wear the
that,
same smelly clothes every day, pretty much.
that's a scary place. That would be a scary thing to do because I look at that like car camping. Like,
Mm.
I want to have a flashlight, I want to have a headlamp, I want to have a lantern, and then I want to have like a candle. And and then whatever else, a solar light. So because I have room in my car for it, so I figure if I can fit it, I should bring it. But
Right. Yeah.
that's
But then you never find it. That's what
I
happens. When you put
know,
too much stuff in there, you can't find it. You find it
right?
when you get home, you're like, oh, that's what I did with that, so I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah,
It's in the
yeah,
glove compartment.
that's right. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas on like how to really a good way to think about that. I would welcome that because I don't know, Fred. Do you have any ideas on that? Like, how do you plan it?
When I first was doing 100 milers, I just made a list and it was a long list. And
Mm-hmm.
I, checked it off like I like this, and I put them in places that I thought were going to be what I needed, but I needed about at most 20% of what I thought I needed.
Yeah,
And so,
but
finally it got to be. My wife was very helpful with it too. Like one year, I brought 2 pairs of shoes to Olmsted, and it was
mhm.
raining at the start. And I'm like, I'm going to wear my old pair because when the rain stops, I'll put on my newer shoes. And she said, you don't ever change your shoes here. Whatever you put on, you're going to wear it to the end, even if it starts off wet. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm going to wear my old shoes. She was right. I never went to the other pair
huh? Okay, all
because I don't
right.
like
So
to change shoes in 100.
yeah, yeah. No, I get you. I hear you. Unless there's a good reason to, right?
Right.
So I thought that I was going to change shoes on Mid-State Massive. I thought that I would do that, but I never quite got that far. So, um, so okay. So next one is walking is running. So, um, so like I guess what that's saying is that we're not always running like super fast.
Also, I mean, I think that sort of taps into the relentless forward progress idea, right? As
Mm,
long as you're moving forward on the course, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're walking, that's fine.
yeah. I think Becky's probably one of the best. I would say that she's probably one of the best on the planet at that. She doesn't she doesn't fiddle fuck around at their aid stations.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, that'll save you a lot of time in a longer race,
Yeah.
not going around at the aid stations.
Yep. She's just like there and gone or not there even. So um but yeah, keeping moving forward, right? So um that's a good one. Now, next one is you run the first half with your legs, the second half with your head, heart, and guts. What do you think of that?
It's kind of a cliche.
It
Lots of
really
people say
is,
that,
right?
right?
Yeah.
But there is a truth to it that there will come a time, particularly if you run relatively like you're putting out a substantial amount of energy in the first half. I don't mean
Hmm.
really hard, but if you put out a lot of energy, there will come a time in the race where you have to show grit. Otherwise, you'll just like think of a reason to stop. Like my
Yeah.
hurts, or my wife misses me, or my cats are bereft without me, or whatever, and then you'd be like, well, I guess I really should stop. So you gotta be smart and gritty.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I can run with my head. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think that's a good idea. I
you
think I
gotta
got to just fucking run. Like, you run the
yeah,
first half with your legs, and then the second half, I just fucking run.
yeah. Get out of your head. Not too much
Yeah.
head.
And also, I think I run it with chafing, right? Like, if I have, you know, if I have to take an extra sock and fill it with Desitin and wear it as a cod piece, um, then you know, like, that's got to happen. Like, I got to be careful,
You gotta do
right?
what you gotta
Like,
do.
follow, making sure that you don't fuck up and make things harder than they have to be for the second half. You know.
I have postulated that if you're chafing, you haven't been paying attention early, enough early in the race. If you
Yeah.
have Desitin on you and you get to the finish line and you have like really bad chafing, it's like put the Desitin where the chafing is before it starts to hurt, when it
Yeah.
first seems like a hot spot. That's the way to do it.
That's a good plan. Like, what are you saving this for when you get home?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
actually, Celeste kind of suggested that. She said that you could put Desitin on your sore spots before you got into the shower.
Well, you can. That's true, but that's why you have sore spots. You should have put it on before. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. I didn't say how long before the shower, Fred. Like, as long as it's before the shower. So, um, all right. Next one is number 4 is there are no rules. What do you think of that?
I don't really know exactly what the context of that is, but it is true that people will tell you, like, here's how you have to train, and here's how
Yeah.
you have to do this, and here's how you have to do that. And none of that is really true.
Yeah.
These are right ways to do it, but there are lots of right ways to do it. That's another way of saying there are no rules, I guess, right? There's no hard and fast rule to do.
Yeah. I'd say that's true. I mean, they're talking about, like, okay, if you use zero drop shoes or do this, or yeah, you'll definitely hear people say, "Oh, if you do this, you'll just never get blisters, or
Mm,
you'll never have stomach issues as long as you pay attention and alternate your salt and your savory and your slimy food or whatever it is."
yeah. I was
Um,
told that if you wore toe socks, you would never get blisters. And then one year I ran Vermont in toe socks and lost 9 toenails after the race.
they were in your
So,
socks, Fred.
yeah, well,
I'm just telling you.
no
Spoiler alert.
blisters versus like blisters under all my toenails except one.
Oh, wow.
So, there are no hard and fast rules. Like you can't just say to somebody like, what worked for me is going to work for you and you have to do this.
Yeah.
The ultra list used to be good for that. People would have all manner of advice, but there'd be a counter to every piece of advice.
Yeah. I hear that too. Like, I hear the good one is, like, somebody talking about plantar fasciitis, right? Like,
Right,
don't ever go barefoot.
right.
Always go barefoot.
Or
Step
or
on a
go barefoot
ball.
as much as possible to strengthen your feet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Step on a tennis ball. Don't play tennis. Don't step on anything uneven.
Right.
Rest your feet, work your
Yeah.
feet, stand up, sit down, relax, wear the sock, So, um, but there are some things there are some truisms, right?
Yep.
Um,
There are.
so
For me, and ones that like my personal rules. I used to read on the ultra list a lot of people saying, what's the least amount of mileage per week that you can do and finish 100? And there was almost like a competition. Like I did it on 18 miles a week. I did it on 15. I did,
Mm,
and some of the old timers would be like, you really should respect the distance and run enough so that you don't like it's not a misery fest when you're doing this race. The race isn't like an act of masochism. It should be a race that you enjoy.
yeah.
And that's been like my biggest rule for myself is to respect the distance and make sure that I put in enough distance in training.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. Like, cause it's, um, because otherwise, I think you should put in as much mileage as you want to,
Right.
you know?
But not you shouldn't approach a like 100 miler or a multi-day or something like how am I going to hack this?
Oh
Not,
yeah. Yeah. There's
not
no hacking.
right, exactly. How am I going to hack this and not pay it its due? That's bullshit
Yeah.
to me.
And the risk is pretty big too. I mean, in a sense, depending on how hard you're willing to go. I mean, you can really, if you're, like this idea of jumping into 100, I sometimes, I question that because like,
Mhm.
I think it does take some time to get, to build your body up to the point where you can handle high mileage and handle extreme trauma. Like,
Yeah, I think you're right.
because I
Um,
know that I don't know whether it's mental or whether it's or what it is, the body learning or some kind of witchcraft. But like the first the first 100 I did hurt like a lot, like hurt an awful lot. And I had many hundreds after that that didn't hurt. I had, one of the cuts hurt worse than anything. But like besides that, like it was pretty I don't know, like not a lot. I don't know. It didn't seem to hurt as much. The more of these that I do, um, you know, the better I feel, for the most part. So
yeah, I
um,
think that's true. I mean, there's some things that you're just not prepared for till you get into the 65 to 70 mile range. If you're just a regular person,
mm,
and you're like, wow, I ran those 50 milers and I never felt this before. Like my
yeah.
quads weren't so bad that I felt like I couldn't go down a hill, that kind of stuff.
Mm,
And like then you get there and you're like, oh, okay, all right. So I gotta build my quads up more or whatever. So
yeah. And I think maybe the better runner you are, or the faster runner you are, the more aggressive runner that you are, the better shape that you're in without the experience. You can be in really good, if you think about how the body develops, right? I think your cardio develops first, and then your muscles, then your tendons, then your bones, right?
mhm.
Something somewhere along that order. Um, so if you have the first half of that squared away, sure, you're able to manage to keep going for quite a while. But then the thing that you're left with towards the end of the race, that's going to be your weak link, is going to be your tendons and your bones. And that shit hurts, and
Yeah.
that can lead to bigger things if you don't let that kind of catch up with the rest of you. So
Right. Yeah,
um,
those parts of your body have bad blood supply, so they heal really slowly too.
that's right. Yes.
You strain a tendon, it could last a year where you don't feel right.
Yeah. So
So you're not in favor, I'm taking it, of couch to cut in like 6 months, right?
no, as much as I want to, like, it's fun to say that and everything, but no, I don't think so. Not unless you've been to the cut and it's like a comeback. Like, I think
Right.
second time around, sure. I'm all in favor of doing that, but like first time out, I just don't think the risk and reward, I don't think is there. Um that's my opinion. So fight me. Um Next one and the last one is you'll figure it out. Don't sweat every detail. So I think like I think that's kind of true. I think it's a lot more fun to do it that way in a lot of ways. But I think that there's a lot of situations where that's just fucking stupid. you know, like I think you'll figure it out. Okay, so you know what? Let's go to the top of Mount Washington, right? and not really think about it, and just do it and don't really think about it, because we'll figure it out, like until like the wind picks up to 140 miles an hour and fucking wind, a snow squall comes through and you get pinned behind a boulder, and you're wearing your short shorts and your your
Right.
Houdini.
You're on a cell phone trying to get evac because you're in
That's
like a
right.
death's doorstep. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can you shouldn't you don't have to sweat every detail, but you shouldn't just like march into danger with like a smile on your face and no preparation. That's kind of lame.
Yeah. I On the other hand, I don't think that you have to figure out, like, there are certain times when and I've talked about this before. I think it makes sense to like not do a whole bunch of things. Like when I went windsurfing, I used to have a rule that I would never do more than two things wrong at the same time, because that was like where you got in trouble. Like two or more things. I could always do one stupid thing, like, or one risky thing. Like I could go to a place that I hadn't sailed before, as long as like the weather was decent, I was comfortable with the board that I was on, and I had the right wetsuit. But you don't go to a new place on a different size board that you haven't, when the weather might be a little sketchy, with a wetsuit that you haven't tried, because inevitably, I got out on the water once, and it was just a light flurries, but a nice wind was out there. I had a good thick wetsuit, but it was a new one. And I got out there, and my wetsuit just unzipped a little bit. So I reached behind to pull, just to pull up on the zipper, and the zipper broke. And all of a sudden,
Oh,
the whole back of my wetsuit just opened wide open. And now I'm out in the middle of Sandy Hook Bay on a freezing fucking cold day with a wetsuit that opens right up and lets all that water in when it hits you. So, and I could, I could go on and on with a million windsurfing stories about times when, I tried more than, I tried a couple of stupid things at once. So, I don't think you need to sweat every detail, but you do need to be safe, right? So,
yeah.
um,
And
but
it is true that you gain experience by making horrible mistakes and trying to
yeah,
do audacious things, but you shouldn't court that. You shouldn't say like, I think I'm going to go hike in the whites and I'm just not going to prepare for it so I can make some horrible mistakes and I'll learn
mhm,
some. That's just not the way to do it.
yeah. Or in trail running, I look at that and say, like, before you go, like, you should at least know, like, especially, it depends on where you are. Like Connecticut's generally pretty tame, but you want to at least know, I mean, not that the terrain always is, but at least it's generally not that remote. Okay. But
Right.
you should at least know where your playpen is, right?
Yes.
What are the borders? Like, is it power lines, one place, a highway, another side, you know, before, so that when you hit these things, you're at least, oh, I was going the wrong way, or
Which will happen,
oh
right?
yeah,
That's why you have to know the borders, like what you're going to run into on
yep,
your different compass positions. Yeah, because you'll get turned around sometimes and you'll be like, wow, I'm at the power lines. I thought I was going to be at the highway.
that's
But
right.
all
I
right.
I had that, and I was running from Route 4 on the Metacomet, went over Rattlesnake Mountain, over Pinnacle, got down through Lyman Orchard, went out, did a loop around Ragged, was coming back, got back into the forest, and I was looking for I was looking for Rattlesnake Mountain, and all of a sudden I'm back at Lyman Orchard, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I just, it's happened. I'm like, this trail just looks familiar. Oh my God, it all looks the same. And all of a sudden I'm back going the wrong way. So now I'm more than 30 miles in. I had a water filter, but it was the middle of a drought. So luckily there was a puddle at the bottom of Rattlesnake, and a muddy puddle, and that's what I got. So, um, And there's Fred's cat on
Isn't
cue.
that, isn't that the cat's ass? Or there you
It
go.
is. Yeah, so I on the other hand though, like figuring out every detail isn't fun either, I think, right?
Oh yeah, true. It takes all the mystery out of it. If you can just dial it down to every single detail, you're right. That takes
Mhm.
the fun out of it.
Yeah, I have to say that at least for the running that I do, I don't always want to know what trail I'm going to take to what trail and have that all figured out. Sometimes I want to just go out, and most of the time I just go running and don't even think about where I'm going, but have just a general idea, and kind of go where it takes me. Um so that's that, right? I mean, those are their five things,
There's
and
your five things.
you know, yeah, I guess they're not like earth shattering things, but kind of things that we do think about. So,
Yeah, in some
um,
context or other. Oh, something I forgot to say at the big top of the show. That I don't think we've mentioned on this show yet. That Sleeping Giant turned 100 this month.
oh,
Sleeping Giant State Park.
yes.
Now, and Alex suggested as a tribute to the Sleeping Giant that people try to run 100 miles in the park in a 30-day period, which I which he said he thought was a pretty stout request for people, but
Ah,
any 30-day period they chose. But it's a lot of miles. But even just getting out there and honoring the Sleeping Giant State Park on its centennial would be nice.
wow. Yeah, that is a that's a big 100 miles there is like that's like 150 in another place.
Yeah, yeah.
That is that's not the easiest one out there. So yeah, speaking of which, did you happen to see David Hyde's workout that he did there?
No, no.
No. Okay. So Sleeping Giant is it's the home of the Quinnipiac Trail. Okay, Quinnipiac Trail runs up this thing, and at the start of the Sleeping Giant, so it looks like the profile of a giant sleeping, if you can imagine that, right? So the first thing is like its head, and then it goes down, and then it's like its chest, and then its foot, at the end. So it looks like he's lying down like that. And the going up the head is like this steep fucking trail. It is just, it's for okay, like if you're a smart ass, you can go up at no hands, and lots of people do, I suppose. But like most people are like, it's at least a 3 point, a lot of times a 4 point climb. You're on all fours getting up this thing. And I don't know, I should know all the statistics here, but and like I've done it where I've gone up and maybe gone up that blue trail like maybe twice and maybe gone down it twice in the same run. And like my ass hurt the next day. I'm just like, it's just like it's a tough fucking place right there.
And when
Uh,
we say about Jamie Myler, sub 4, sub 9, she did the from the northern terminus of the Quinnipiac Trail at Route 68 in Prospect to the southeastern terminus in Sleeping Giant Park, sub 4, and then she did a double out and back in sub 9. And that's pretty stout. And
that is.
really, what you were saying about going up the above the quarry there on the head,
Mhm.
going down is harder. I
Oh, it
think
is. It's much
that's
harder.
that's much harder because you feel like if I take a wrong step, I'm just going to pitch into this quarry and they'll find my body in a couple of
If
days. Right?
if you spaz out, you're dead. You're just like you're gonna be just like it's gonna be like a Monty Python episode, like
Yeah.
ah!
Yep.
So he did 10 loops of that going up. He went up and then down like a shortcut down. So he went up that 10, and not just up that, but also starting from like the Quinnipiac River
Right.
that's there and going over that little fucking thing that
Well,
is
that
like
little steep hill
really.
before, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and this thing, I've been on that thing where I've cramped up and just like that's like a it's like I would put it, it's like the Hillary step, basically. It's like it's a nasty little section there, like that you have to think about where you're putting your feet. It's not, a lot of mountain climbers would laugh at it, but for someone as skilled as I am, it's fucking treacherous.
I can remember the first time I did the Blue Trail in the
Mm.
park to go up over the top of the head and get up on that ridge and everything. I was like, "What the fuck is this? That little that
Yeah,
little
is this a
buff berg,"
trail?
because it was not easy.
Oh no, no, it's your heart rate is pumping up that. Like
Yeah,
you go up that and it's like a competition. Like anybody who's there, like you get like gym rats try that shit, and like
yeah.
all the, every, it's pretty crowded place, I have to say, as far as Connecticut's concerned. But he did 10 times of that, and then he put it out. There's something on Strava where you can be, I forget what it is. It's like a challenge. Like he has to check, like he put the challenge out because he doesn't know anybody who's done it 10 times. So he put the challenge out. It was 20 miles to do this. And so, and then he asks you, will you accept my challenge?
Ooh.
So I wrote him a note, and it wasn't a very nice one. in you know, in thinking
How to
about
say
it, it
no in
wasn't.
200 words or less? Is that what you're?
Well, I think I called him a scurvy dog and set a pox upon him or something like that.
Okay.
So it wasn't the nicest response that I've ever given to anybody, but because now that he said it, it's like it's out there, right? So but good for him for doing that, and it's got me thinking about trying that. So for some really stupid reason. So
So if somebody
um
said to jump off a bridge, would you jump off the bridge or
um
probably?
yeah.
Yeah.
And how high? So yeah, I think I probably would, Fred. If it's like we always had this rule, like if somebody says, if we're out on a run and somebody says, should we go up this? Like it's like an automatic yes. Like there's no, like once you say that, it's like done. And
Yeah.
and it has to be done. So
Right. Looks stupid. Let's do it.
oh, so yeah, it's just like it's pretty scary, but I think it's a good, I think that's a good thing. So maybe I don't know how long that would take me. It would take me a long fucking time to do that. And I would probably I don't know. It would be interesting to see. So enough said about that. If anybody else, I hope somebody else does this too, but after I do it, okay? So um so we'll see. I might give that a shot. So all right. So next up is on July 11th, there's something called Love Trails. Did you ever hear about that, Fred?
No.
Okay, so apparently this is in Wales. Something called Love Trails. It's a 3-day trail running festival that also has live music each night, plus other ways to get active, including hikes, yoga, adventurous activities like kayaking. There's also some casual runs and races, workshops, and inspiring talks. It kind of sounds like what Patrick Caron's putting on up at the Acadia. He has something there, but this has music. So, and it's in Wales. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. But here's what it is, though. It's all at the same place. So it got me thinking that I'd like to have can you imagine if you had a traveling music festival running? Like if you said, okay, Friday night, we're all going to meet at Riverfront Recapture in Hartford. And then we're going to run all night and get to Springfield and camp out somewhere in Springfield. And then the Grateful Fish is going to play there, right?
Yeah.
And
like
then the
it.
next day you decided, okay, we're going to run to, one other place. I don't know, where else would we run after Springfield? Where?
Brattleboro.
Brattleboro. Is there a train station in Brattleboro?
Maybe, but at least a bus station, not a train.
Yeah, because I'd want to be able to take a train back when it's all done. Does that make me bad? or
No,
just lazy?
I would say neither one. If you're going that far, if you
It-
can take public transportation back.
okay. All right. So that's always something to think about there. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. Mixing rail music and running, right? Two of our favorite things in the world.
Yes.
So um
By the way, on July 11th, I will be in Las Vegas
oh,
to see
what's
the to see Dead and Company in the Sphere on that very day. Well,
wow.
music, but not in Wales.
So you could have your own thing going on there. So
I
everybody's
could.
invited to join Fred there.
Yeah, it's going to be a little warm. It's July in Las Vegas, so
Hmm.
it's not going to be cool, but it could be fun.
Yeah, yeah, that works. All right. And all right, next thing is Camille Herron, right?
Yeah, that was that. Honestly, going into that, I didn't think that much of it. Um, because there was nobody else in the. I mean, it's a Lululemon project, and it wasn't really that much like a race because there were, I don't know, there were like 9 people in it, but nobody was on the level of Camille. I think 3 of them had finished 100 before, maybe even including Camille. But it was a
Yeah.
6-day race, 144 hours, and she was like, "I'm going to try to run 600 miles or more." I wanted what her goal was. I don't know if she actually took a goal of the men's world record, but I think she did want to make the American record, which I think Joe Fegis holds, which is about 606 miles, I think.
Hmm.
So that was her reach goal. And I was like, well, it's going to be pretty hard to do this without any real competition. So there's just not going to be many people on the course days 3, 4, and 5. And that's where you like tend to have a slump because you can't see the finish line in your mind yet. But
Okay.
but she killed it. I mean, I was 100% wrong. She did great.
Yeah, yeah, she really did. Um, so I don't know. I thought that was it's pretty amazing just to watch her continue to uh move forward, And the thing that I thought was really cool about this is that I think this got a lot more press than any other 6-day that I've ever heard of, right? In recent, in recent history. I mean, we know, we're always super tuned into, 6 days at the fair and, some of these other runs, but this
Yeah, I think that's true. This got more, particularly more engagement on social media and just sort of spread more um, in non-ultra running circles. Like this thing
mhm.
is, and multi-day races are really a niche sport. And like I remember when Jofi just set the American record, that's got to be like 8 years ago now, maybe in Hungary.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of stiff competition in that race, but like other outside of ultra running circles, I don't think anybody knew what was going on. Why would they like be interested in that? It's because it's like a niche within a niche,
Yeah.
It's not a niche within a niche. I don't know. But anyway, it's small. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's yeah, I mean you're right. It's not usually something that you hear about, um this is the other important fact that I have to mention. So for the longest time and always in my mind, I've always looked at this and called it Lululemon. This company,
Yeah.
I always considered to be Lululemon.
Lululemon.
Lululemon
So that
is
makes
how
it
I thought.
sound kind of Jamaican, right?
That's how I thought it was said. I thought that's how you said it, and it was that in Chick-fil-A. I
Good.
thought that's kind of how they were pronounced. So, um,
Good.
but I've heard several people call it Lululemon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Now you're
correct
going
them. I
there.
think so.
Yeah. But Lululemon, they're kind of an interesting company in this sense. they really started off as like bougie yoga gear
Yes.
for upper middle class and upper class women to do
Hmm.
yoga. And so you could get a pair of yoga pants for like $150. When you
Yeah.
go to Target and get them for 29.95 or something. And I think that with Camille, somewhere in the company, they've decided to try to promote like a more broad spectrum of women's sports. And in this race, they particularly had people in there who had a variety of body types too. So they
Hmm.
weren't
Yes.
just like, going
Mirna,
for
Mir,
people who are
yeah.
super fit, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
They weren't just going for people who are super fit,
Yes, yes,
right? Like one of the women in there was the Myrnavator. I don't know if you know who she,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
She's
yeah. She's quite the personality. I've heard her on Rich
yeah,
Roll. I've heard her
yep,
around. So I think that she certainly brought a lot of focus to this. I mean, there's probably a lot of people. Um, first, two amazing things. First amazing thing is that they probably have never listened to Culture Trail Running podcast.
which is
Otherwise, they
extraordinary.
would know about 6 day races, but other people probably just have never, until she did that, she had never run 100 miles before.
Right.
So, that's a huge thing. Right. And I think
Yeah,
she
I think she
caught some
did it in
flack for
about three
that, or
days.
the organization caught some flack for that too. Right.
Yeah. I think she reached 100 in about 3 days. So
Yeah.
for Myrna, that's
And
really good.
yeah, that is great. And I think it's, the overall good that's done, is wonderful, and also,
I think it expands the thought of what ultra running is because honestly, I've always thought of like Laz used to say it, like ordinary people who are just trying to do kind of extraordinary things. And
yes.
it's not beyond you just because you're an ordinary person. You just have to be audacious and you have to want to do an extraordinary thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so also got to definitely give a shout out to Stephanie Flippin, who completed 44 laps, which just happens to be 112.19 miles.
nice.
So bravo, fucking well done. If I had a gold medal, you would be getting it. Okay. So, um, you know, I don't know, Stephanie, that is pretty awesome. So, and then some of the other runners in here are all, they're women who are going to be gunning for the win at Western States, so they're not, Camille is I think this is like this is like her, like one of her specialties, right? I mean,
Yes. Yeah,
doing stuff like
absolutely.
this.
If you can think of like we're in a kind of a golden age of women's ultra running because you've
Hmm.
got Courtney, who is an extraordinary trail and mountain runner, and you've got Camille, who is like a generationally extraordinary uh, fixed time race runner. Like
Hmm.
like she can how much did she do in 48 hours? It was like some unbelievable thing. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to bury the lead of this race. She did over 560 miles in this race in the 6th day. It was
Hmm.
real. I mean, like this is some power stuff. She's 42 years old, which I think is the pretty much the perfect age to do fixed time ultra race running, and she's killing it. She's really doing well.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, that is amazing. So, I think it's great that, and it's weird because like this isn't the sponsor that you would think. This wouldn't be if you said who is going to put this on, like you would think, like I'm thinking one thing, like Desitin, right? Or Canadian Trail Fishing Magazine. Those are like the only people that I know that would take on something like this, but that they did that. Um, so there's like, you know, just to even conceive of this is wonderful, and that I think that makes them really an early adapter in the sport. So I hope that it pays off for them financially, and good for them for doing this. So
They also as like sort of an adjunct to this being a 6 day race, had medical teams doing things like drawing blood from runners periodically.
yes,
So they're doing like trying to do their scientific research to see if they can advance this sport, which I think is great. I think it's super.
yeah. They had to run through a tent every time with pressure plates and videotaping. So they did, yeah, blood draws, and also, and not every lap they weren't doing, but there were, they were doing, all sorts of testing and research as they did this. So I think that like some of the runners, like I think it was Leah Yingling, apparently said that she learned more during this than she'd ever learned in any of her other races. So
Well, yeah, because she was going rule number 5, you'll figure it out. She's probably never really sweated the details before. Now she's got a whole medical team sweating the details, teaching her stuff, right?
yeah, because it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. What is it like to run a 6 day race, Fred? Like I'm talking about it here like I've done it. So honestly, I've not done a 6 day race yet. So
Not hard.
um,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it's okay. I admit it, Fred. I've admitted it here. So
It's really
I mean,
hard.
I'd fucking
It's
win.
hard.
You'd probably know, but so
I don't honestly, I don't think ultra running as I mean it takes a lot of grit and it's weird and difficult. It's a weird niche sport, but I don't think of it as like super hard necessarily. Like you go run 100 mile, you have it has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. If you can do it within the cutoff, and it's hard, and like you might have blisters and you might limp around for a couple of days, but a 6 day, I've done it 4 times, I think. I don't know. Anyway,
uh-huh.
it took a lot out of me. It's really it it beat me down pretty good. No, 3 times, I guess. I actually stayed for like 6 days. And I'm not that great of a runner, as you know, but like I do know that I hurt so bad at the beginning of day 4. I had taken a nap in the night, like between day 3 and day 4. And so I'm halfway done. And I had this bright idea because I was telling you, like, I don't change my clothes that often and stuff, but I had this bright idea because I just felt like kind of awful at the end of day 3. Like, what if I just strip down naked and just get in my sleeping bag naked? Like, maybe I'll have a better rest or something instead of having these scratchy clothes on me. And so I
Hmm.
did that. And then I woke up at the beginning of day 4 and
I
I
couldn't get
couldn't
my
get out of
pants
my
on.
sleeping bag and I couldn't walk. And I was like, oh, I'm naked and I can't like, what am I going to do? So like one of my friends, Kevin Flood, was in a tent that was like maybe 20 feet away from where I was. And I could see him fussing around with his stuff. And I was like, Kevin, Kevin. And he was like, Fred, is that you? And I was like, can you, like, do you have a couple of Advil over there? And so he brought me a couple of Advil and I took those and I just sat and waited for like half an hour. And then I could at least get out, like work my way out of my sleeping bag and put clothes on. But
Oh my
that's
God.
like how far down I was at that point. I was really, it'll challenge you. It'll
Hmm.
challenge you.
That is yeah, that's got to be a different kind of pain, right? So
Yeah. I ran 365 miles that week though. So that was,
shit.
okay. It was all right.
365, you would have been like one, two, you would have been like third place.
Woo.
That's pretty good, Fred. Third, you would have podiumed
I actually did
in the
podium in that
women's.
race too.
Oh,
I was
okay.
third place at the fair.
Okay. That's
Only really because my friend Dong Lin, the he went to bed. This has happened like in fixed time races. This is kind of a cliche, but like on the night of like night 5, like like you're 5 days, 5.5 days in, coming into the morning, it's going to
mm-hmm.
end. And he was like, I'm really tired. I'm going to take a little nap, like a couple hours. Then I'm going to get up and I'll finish it out. And he was a couple miles ahead of me at that time. And he did eventually get up, but I think he slept till like 6 in the morning when he really meant to sleep till like midnight, and so I
Mm.
was able to sneak past him. getting the third place.
Shit. In other words, he meant to finish in front of you, but
Yes,
he didn't do that.
he
So
did not, and I wasn't waking him up either. But
you weren't, yeah, it's not, I mean, you can only do so much, Fred, right?
yes, yeah.
You
At
know,
that point, all I was trying to do was keep going around the course.
you can lead a horse to water, but it doesn't make it right.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
um, so okay, so that's, yeah. So congratulations to Camille. Congratulations to everybody who did this, and Luluman as well for putting on this great event.
For that great reggae company, Luluman,
Yeah,
they're fantastic. Yeah.
Luluman.
Yeah.
Yeah, 560 miles. Damn.
That's really good.
And yeah, so I think like what I heard about it, the feedback that I heard, the last thing on this is that there was just a lot of feedback that people, just kind of discovered that they're capable of so much more.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I think Camille knew she was capable of this, but you're right. Like all
yes,
the other runners, I think were like, they put me in this 144-hour race and I had no idea what to expect. And I am able to do more than I thought. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so here's something that I heard about. This is something that Ultra Walker Andy Cable shared with me. There is in Long Island on when is this? September 29th. There's something called the Long Island 6-hour 60th birthday celebration run. Okay, and this is a 6-hour run where if you're 60 years old, that you get like some kind of like special recognition at this race. And it only counts if you're 60 years old during the calendar year, like of 2024. If you're going to be 60 years old, that this might be your time. I checked with Tony Bonanno, and that bastard's only 59. So,
ooh,
and I'm 60. So, Andy Meisler, I don't know how old's Andy. Do you know?
I do not know.
I thought he just did a 60-mile run for some reason, or
Maybe
something like that.
60. Maybe it was in calendar year 2024. That could be.
So there's that. So and that's out on Long Island. So that might be fun. And then next weekend is to Hale and back. Tark race. That'll be a lot of fun. Too. I'm gonna go and do that. So hope to see some people there. I think Gandalf is going to be there. Patrick Karen, I know, is organizing.
He's always
that.
there, right? At those Tark races. Either he's running or he's organizing or volunteering, doing something, right?
Yeah.
He gives a lot to that organization.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, let's see, what else did we have? The Cut 112, right? So the Cut 112 is registration still open for that, although it is it's getting closer. So get your time in there. I haven't done much to I've hardly even posted about it anywhere or advertised it anywhere. So if you know, but it looks like a good group running that. There's also a 50-mile there too. So if you want to do that, it's a 50-mile. It's not an easy 50-mile, but you have a lot of time to do it.
You have a lot of time, but it'll challenge you.
Oh, fuck yeah. And the Cut 112, technically you have some time to do it, but
it'll challenge you.
Yeah, most people are gonna really need it. Most people don't finish it in 30 hours, and but I've heard it's an easy race. So whatever
doesn't
that
even have a cutoff.
means. Whatever that
stay
means.
awake, right? You stay awake, you can take as much time as you need.
Yeah. So there's that. And then what else? Did we want to? What do they call it? I guess they call it begging people for money.
Yes, the begging. Yes,
the begging.
I'm
part.
all about the begging.
Ready for the begging part. So, we're not begging for money here. So if you'd like to support Cultra Trail Running Podcast, that would be great. We like Patreons. Helps us kind of put you on, you kind of get on a radar. So we're able to kind of make a connection that way. And it also helps pay the bills and, keeps my wife off my back so that I'm not spending a lot of time and losing a lot of money. So it's good. And, and we're able to also kind of support a lot of the different people that we run across. It allows us to kind of lend some support to them as well. So,
I love the convergence of the Patreon list and seeing people at races and,
yes,
meeting them in IRL. Right.
Yeah. No, that's what it's all about, Fred. Like, is ultimately seeing people in real life, right? And and being podcast famous, right? So our Patreons fucking get mobbed. So
they get mobbed.
Don't do this shit if you're like, if you don't want to have somebody say, "Oh, you're pom poms," I should have guessed.
Yeah, and like in knowing that your name may be Michelle, but you're gonna lose your first name and just become pom pom.
That's right. Yeah. So famous. We take no responsibility for loss of identity or identity theft or transmogrification. So, the other thing I wanted just to mention, now it sounds like we're like peddling a bunch of shit, but I'm just really excited about it. I've been working on some new designs of clothing out there. So, and those are going to be released. They're more technical running clothes. I have them designed and I've ordered some samples. So nice. I want to see what the samples look like. So
if you see Art running around with Cultra branded clothing, it may just be samples. It doesn't mean you can order it yet.
Correction, Fred. If people see you running around in Cultra branded clothing, it's not going to be, those are collector's items shit. So that's graduate level, proprietary stuff,
I don't know. I'm pretty generous. I might sign it and give it to you if you asked for it.
You might, if you ask nicely, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But I'm not giving up that mug though. The one I put on Facebook. That is nice.
Yeah, you like that, huh?
I loved it. I drank coffee out of it today.
Good. Okay, I didn't check that. I gotta see the post and stuff. I haven't seen one of those, so I need you to be super critical. Tell me if there's anything, like if I spelled something wrong. That's the Cultra Brew. Cultra Brew mug. So
explicit and raw.
Yeah, very good. All right, so you ready to do this, Fred? Maybe we can talk about our Patreons here.
Let's fire right through it. Yeah, okay. Less than an hour.
Less than an hour, people. Get ready. Buckle your seatbelts because we got to show up CultraBot. We can't let him get away with all this shit. So just having a little bit of fun. We apologize in advance if we accidentally pronounce your name correctly. And here we go. We have Name. Then we got hashtag Hundo Joe. Got
see you in North Carolina, Joe.
Oh yeah, he's going to Olmsted, huh?
Yep.
Be careful, Fred. That race has got to be harder than the Cutta here. So
yeah, much harder.
So I reportedly, So anyway, we have as CultraBot would say, dollar. Fucking CultraBot just fucking rattles off. He doesn't get tired. He just reads that. Whatever you tell him to say, he's going to say. And
no fatigue. He
does ad lib a little bit though too. Albert Star Albert Star Galactica. Wow.
Yeah.
We got 113th mile. That's graduate level shit right there, right?
Yes.
Just showing us up. We got a Marcus.
Not the Marcus, a Marcus.
A Marcus. Or a Mark US. We have a Marcus. We have Amy Jennifer Hanlon and Amy Jennifer Hanlon's friend. We got Amy Maurer Power, who just is dropping that DNF book like it's hot, right?
And we speculated, Art speculated that the book was going to be a DNF because that's what it is. It's a DNF book. But no, she finished the DNF book.
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
It's the miracle of ultra running and writing.
Yeah.
So it is.
Buy it. Go read that book.
That's right. Yeah.
I have 2 entries in the book, by the way.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Yeah. I have 1. actually.
right.
So,
So I have twice as many as Art does, everyone.
as would be expected. As would be expected. We'll have to see if where they placed in the book, though, Fred.
Ah,
And I don't know whether it's better to be in the front of the book or the back of the book.
I don't know. Good point. I was just going to say, which is better? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Um, so we have Amaya Sorsen, taken with doctor's care. We have Amy Tide, Angelia
Right.
Rose.
Also
We
going to
have
be
Ha-
an Umstead.
We have what now?
Also going to be an Umstead, Angelia.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes.
We have Energy, High Energy Energy. We have Antone de Betancourt. Do you think that they should legalize betting on pickleball?
Yes, they
Good.
should.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going with that. Let's ask the Magic 8 Ball. Should they legalize betting on pickleball? And the answer says, as I see it, yes.
Yeah. See, yeah, smart,
So
smart ball there.
yeah, that Magic 8 Ball, I've been asking it some serious shit life questions. Like people in my life that are living in turmoil and having some trauma. I've asked about outcomes, just throwing it to the wind, and the Magic 8 Ball has been there. So things are looking
Right
good.
on. Yeah.
We have our hot dog salesman from Texas, right? Number one in Texas, Austin Frank.
You're Austin Frank. Football.
We have Azam
Shazam.
Pulatov. And maybe you want to take it from here.
All right. I'll take a spin. Ben Nalet.
Mm-hmm.
Ben One in. Benjamin Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the four ends. Berkshire Trailheads repping the Shire from Western Mass.
That's the other
really
Shire.
The other Shire, repping the Northern Shire.
The Northern Shire.
The Northern Shire. Bassett Cussle, that big tall guy.
Oh, I gotta tell you something. After we hit the stop record thing, some secret squirrel shit. Bassick is hooking us up. So
all right.
Big time. He's actually hooking everybody up. So when you see him, you guys should all kiss his ass, okay? I'm just saying.
Don't try to give him a high five though, because if he raises his arm up, you'll never reach it. So
you can't
get a low five. Yeah.
That's right. Don't it'll be a high five for you, low five for him.
Right, exactly. That's it. Bikini Chicken. Quack. Bill Gibbs, your best massage person.
That's right. He can work it out.
We can work it out. Bill Gilpatrick.
He's a patriotic Patreon.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Bill Odendahl, your RD at the lake. Get in that race or volunteer there. Brian, listen to the music.
That's right.
Brian,
That's right. Brian O'Hanlon. He is actually the forbidden Irish cousin of Amy Jennifer Hanlon. So,
okay, there you go.
Just telling you.
Bryce Henley,
Celeste
Fonga Ding Dong, missing
That's
her
right.
tonight. I love me some Celeste. She's the best.
She's MIA.
Sherry Bilby.
Oh yeah.
Chocolatey oatmeal. You gotta no oatmeal raisin chocolatey. I don't know.
Time to up the game.
Too busy there. The chocolate, the oatmeal, the raisins. I don't know.
It's like trying to. It sounds like AI came up with that name.
Yeah, try with like the white chocolate macadamia nut chip. Those are good. Those are really good. Okay.
Chocolatey chip, and he threw it to AI and said, "Clean this up."
Yeah.
And it came back with this like, "Hope this Patreon reading finds you well."
Yes, I chocolatey it for you, just as you asked.
Right, yes.
Chris Rosal knows all, sees all.
Aerosol
is all.
That's right. Christine. Chinhing. Crisco.
Yeah, Crisco.
He's the slipperiest fucking runner you'll ever meet.
Crisco. Yeah, but you know his feet. He probably never gets blisters, right?
He doesn't. No. We got Clement scented chunks. So, yeah, there you go. What can you say? I mean, no one likes unscented chunks. I mean,
that's true.
It's no fun. I have Clarice. Hello. Kind of out of order.
Hello,
It's
Clarice.
like
All right.
Yoda's. That sounded just creepy.
Clarice, hello.
Clarice. Hello. It is. Yes, we have a Crutch Lee. We have Dan Braveheart going for freedom, leading us to freedom. We have David Hoops. And he's out somewhere. I forget where he is, but he's I think he's I don't know where he is. He's probably home. David Hide and Seek, he is fucking going up that sleeping giant.
Yeah. Now, every time I see his name, I'm going to think of going up the blue trail 10 times.
Damn. That's just like, yeah. And then he says, Art, will you accept my challenge? Fuck. What are you supposed to say to that? Like, guy calls you out in public. What are you going to do?
I'm jumping off a bridge. You jumping off that bridge, Art? Oh,
I'm,
God. Okay,
I'm going
I'll
to try to
the
jump
bridge.
off that bridge. I may not make it, but
Yeah.
I may try. God, Ellen Cretella.
Did you say David
Patella?
Kaplan? Did you get Kaplan in there?
I didn't. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Kaplan
David
test.
Kaplan. Yes.
That was a test, Fred.
That was a test. Oh,
and
you
you
did not
and
pass
you
that
passed.
test. Okay.
So
now you can go to Ellen.
We got ECC.
I say,
You know me.
Pertella.
Also, Ellie Pell. You know, we got to have Ellie back on, right?
We
and
do.
find out,
I miss
like,
Ellie.
we have to find out what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what, but we got to find out whatever
She
is
knows what's
going
on.
What's going on in Boulder? They
Yeah.
got to be getting ready for the meltdown there, right? The
I
big
think
thaw.
so. Yeah, it's coming.
We have the mayor of Cultra City.
Yes, she was buying Amy Mauer Power's book, and she was like, "Should I buy the print copy so I can see the DNF pictures?" And I was like, and Amy was like, "There are no photos in the book." But now I believe Amy is compiling a bunch of photos of the people
Yes.
who wrote the articles in the book. So
because the mayor has mandated it.
yeah, that's right. The mayor issued an edict, I believe.
That's right, a proclamation. Whereas a certain Patreon put together a reading material, whereas such contributors gave their contributions, whereas no pictures were allowed in that book. Therefore, let it be resolved that it's time to put some fucking pictures out, people. Okay, sorry.
Right.
You're trying to listen to a podcast and I'm just going on here. So we got Enrique Teo.
Father of the Chosen One.
That's right. Eric Wester celebrating Easter. Hopefully he'll come out and run.
Wester for Easter.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully he'll come out and run on the 31st. He'll come out and run the Hop and Hodges 50K, where we run 28 miles starting at about 1:00 in the morning. Finish up probably an hour before the start of a 5K. Enough time to sign up, get some coffee, paddle our canoe around a little bit, and then run a 5K to make it a nice 50K. So hopefully he'll come out and do that.
You still have the course record for the Hop and Hodges 50K there?
Yes, I do, Fred. Thank you.
Okay,
yes.
good. Yeah, just wanted to.
I do. Got Franklin Gandiaga, the founding father of Lord of the Rings. Fred Wills and Trusts.
That's the fast Fred from Cheshire.
Yeah.
As opposed to, slow Fred from Cheshire here.
Yep. Fuck Arby's.
I'm going to see Oak at Umstead. He lives like, a foot from Umstead. So
really?
Yeah, I'm going to see him there.
Okay. All right. That doesn't make you a bad person, right?
No,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You should send him, send him regards. Give him some greetings.
I'm also going to see Law Dog down there too.
So. Wow. All the stuff, all the peeps
things.
there.
Yeah.
We have Joffrey Myler.
No relation to Jamie Myler. Just
nope.
Another Myler.
Pure coincidence.
Well, like at the indoor track meet when the announcer said like all the Mylers go to the starting line. I think that's a lot of Mylers, right?
The whole fucking place. Yeah. That's like,
yeah.
They weren't expecting that many.
Yep.
Well, the 100 milers, 112 milers. We have Heidi Stearns and Foster. Attaboy. JJ Duran. So far away.
He has an entry in the book from the 104. the QT 104.
Oh, I should have put that one in too, Fred. Even though I thought at the time I was finishing. So
You were pretty close to
I was
finishing.
damn close.
You were damn close.
We have
Jack
Eye of the Tiger Smith.
She's doing great.
She is.
I love looking seeing her reports on Facebook. She's like an upward trajectory. I like to see that.
Yep. I think we should have her tested though. I'm just not trusting this shit. Just saying. I mean, like I trust her, but verify.
Trust
right?
but verify.
I think. Yeah. So the cut's gonna maybe have some testing. Like there are no rules except that, like, okay, no sleep till Guilford and and none of that funny stuff. Okay.
There you go.
We have Jacques Zerbach.
I like that T-shirt that somebody put on Facebook. The
All about pain.
The other one that was like, what more baguettes, no regrets, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. Jake Cocotin. The aforementioned Jamie Myler.
Some
Just
force
Jank.
of none.
That's right. We got Just Jank. We got Jessica Crandall, knows all, sees all. Randall. Jillian Ellefson.
I feel like Ellefson reminds me of like a Lord of the Rings thing too. Like she should be like an elf queen or something. If we turn off the lights here and let the moonlight shine in here onto the computer screen, I'm sure it would say something completely different. Oh yeah, and the runes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Trail Charts. Have Joseph Morris Rowe get up and go.
All the roads.
That's right. Just a plotter.
Just a
plotter running like a gotter. Cultrabot had a lot of good poems. I don't know if you caught those. You can't miss them from last episode. By the way, last episode was a fucking great episode.
That guy is awesome. I really liked him.
Jim Keane. I don't usually listen to the episodes twice. Or I don't usually listen to him in, again, but it was just he was very compelling guest. So
yes.
Justin Kowski. There you go. So
running the cut.
That's right.
Probably fast. Who knows?
We gotta see if we don't want to put any
no pressure, Justin.
No pressure. Okay. Just go out
and kill it. Go slay it.
Just finish, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Just finish and fucking play havoc with everybody's ultra sign up scores. Go ahead. We have Karen Plato.
Yes.
So Kelsey Engineer.
It's definitely short for engineer, right?
Yeah. Lands a lot and takes off a lot too. Laura Ricci, Fats Cat.
That's Cat.
Lauren, Sophia Loren and Edelman. So congrats again on your
that 100-mile finish.
On your pistol 100, right? So
and that belt buckle with the pistol on it.
Did they let her take that on the plane?
Oh, that's funny. I wonder, maybe you might have to check that. It might be in your check bag.
Well,
all right.
Yep. We got
next.
This one. No.
Yeah. So who I'll see in 3 weeks.
Yep. I'll let you go here.
Leanne Zarden. Hi, Laz. I follow Laz on Facebook. She's doing stuff all the time. She lives the life. Lenny's mom, she's got it going on.
Yeah. And we had a song, Cultrabot had a poem about her as well. So
there should be epic poems written about Lenny's
there
mom.
Was. Yeah. Something about
and Lenny too.
Dancing. Lenny's mom had it going on. I don't know. Something about Lenny sat up and danced like he was on Blotter or something like that.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was pretty good.
That's good. Okay. She does like a Grateful Dead song now and then. So that probably worked, that probably worked.
Yeah. So we'll have to check that. So,
all right. Liz Vicious. Liz Vicious 30.
Oh yeah.
Mase Macho. Macho Man Mark Keeley.
Right. Rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah. Marty Ducow. Matt
Marty
Nilsson.
Dickow.
I for Matt Nilsson, I have to say I was listening to like some like yacht rock or something, just like on the ride back from New Jersey yesterday, and the lime in the coconut, that song, put the lime in the
Oh yeah.
coconut.
And drank it all
That is
day.
on the Nilsson Schmilson album. That's Harry Nilsson.
Wow.
So there you go. Michael Ko,
All right.
Michael Lopresti, Loop,
That's right.
um, Michelle Pom Pom O'Neill,
Oh yeah.
Microscopic Porcupine. I think Microscopic Porcupine is responsible for me being the subject of that documentary. So I should both thank him and hate him for it.
Aha.
Because I've been filmed a lot in the last 6 months. But thank
Is
you,
that
George.
still going on?
I think I finished it in a cemetery in Middletown last week. I think I did the last shoot.
You
So
buried it.
yeah, I think so. I'm hoping.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, well, it'll be something. Mike Reardon,
That's right. The invisible but not silent G.
right? Miles Victors,
Yes.
they're training for the big miles because it's not just miles; it's many miles now.
Yep.
Miles.
And he belongs to the spoils, or the spoils belong to him.
Yeah.
The
To
owner
the
of the spoils.
Mommy Craigery.
Oh yeah. That's just
Right.
wrong.
That just reminds me so much of Celeste because she's got such goofy
Word to the monkey stuffer.
monkey stuff. I like that thing on Facebook about that. Like, yeah, late to the game because we already knew that monkey
Yeah.
stuff. Nat Zilski, nothing. Not
Nope.
oh no, not nothing. Not Zilski, something ski, probably.
That's right.
All right. Nicole Carey, Cash and
Mhm.
Carry,
Cash and carry.
Once a Runner. I liked that book.
I liked it a lot. I still like it.
I like them both. I was fine with
Again?
the Carthage too. That was,
Racing in the Rain or Racing the Rain, I think.
yeah, Racing the Rain.
Good stuff.
BKO,
Hmm.
powered by Pop Tarts. Robert,
That's right. Yes.
good guy. Rebecca Gonzalez Kreisberg, RGK.
That's right. 7/10 of is invisible. I'm losing it. Sorry.
She's a Kreisberg.
That's right.
Right. Some of it's below the water. Richard runs trails on YouTube, finishes Traveler 100 in Arkansas. Rob the Bear Breckenridge.
Ron
Lacandro. All right. You picking it up?
Sure. Yeah, I will. Next up, we have Ross Belak. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
I'm loving it.
Oh, yeah. I think I got to send something out to Ross. So, Ross, if you're listening to this, in the unlikely event that you're listening to this, I got to get some opinions here. So, opinions. Okay, and then Rufus and Brenda Chafee, Fort and Chafee, Chocolatey Chicken, Cat Chasers. Run the Whites at midnight. That would be a dangerous thing. Like, there are no rules. Walking is running. You pack your fears.
And then bring them to the Whites.
Yeah.
At midnight.
Run to the Whites at midnight. Okay, you can do that.
Sure.
Rusty Red Wagon.
Horses
Bow
on
Wow.
Submarines.
Got Sam Dibadall.
Dibadall.
Suing and crewing with Sarah Porras. Got Big Scott Johnson.
Scott.
Skyman C. Edgett. Up on
Skyman.
That's right, Skyman Edgett. I like that, Skyman. He's Skyman. We got the Slur PP Runner. Excellent. Steep Endurance, Brian Van Eyden. Got Steve Extremia.
Extremely.
He's an extremologist, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
So, we got Tai. Got 10 junk miles. Get some while supplies last. And that's, they may be having a going out of business sale. So
one of these days,
rumor has it.
Nothing lasts forever.
That's right. Except for this Patreon rating.
Okay. Fair.
Okay. The Blue Hills Contagion. Let's see. The Lazarus Crew. And Tom the Destroyer. Staradai. Tony D. Tunks' Jamie McCusker. Ultra Walker, the man with the most impressive.
I'm going to be walking with him on Sunday, 22 miles on Sunday.
Wow. He has the, I think he probably has the most coverage of anybody in city strides in the state of Connecticut.
I got to believe that's true. I think he's like at like 25% of the state or somewhere between 20 and 25% of the state, which is quite a bit.
I showed Steve LaBranche was at this run as well, and he saw I had him take a look at that, and he was pretty much shocked and awed by that. So by his Ultra Walkers City Strides thing. So next up we have Walt Hammer.
I'll see him at the fair in May.
Yes, and William, keep running, bro, on YouTube. Jara.
All right.
And last but not least, or last and in the rear, we have Zimikuk Desitin in the rear. So thank you very much to all of our Patreons. We really appreciate it. You know what? It's great. It takes a lot of time to do this sometimes, and it's nice. It's nice. This allows us just to kind of have some breathing room and not to like worry about a lot of shit that might otherwise like kind of gnaw on us a little bit, So it's good.
I love looking down the list too. Like there's so many good people on this list.
Yeah, it is.
There really are. So thanks to everybody.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
Yep. And thanks for listening. Oh, if you want to do something cool, you can be podcast famous 2 other ways. You can, if you want to call 203 Dog Gent, that's our Cultra Karaoke hotline. You just call that up if you have a song stuck in your head. And the phone number is 203 Dog Gent, like the phone number if you spell it out on your phone. And then just leave a message, sing the song that's stuck in your head, and then we'll play it back on our show and you'll be podcast famous. So,
and we guarantee it'll get the song out of your head.
Yeah. Actually, right now you can program that in your phone, and then you can call it up. Actually, B-Rock does the hello part. So it's just, we're not going to answer it. So you can call anytime you want. I don't hear it ring or anything like that. So it doesn't matter. It can be midnight, whatever time. You can fucking call right now as you're driving your car.
Yeah. Wherever you are.
Operating, if you're a doctor and you're operating right now.
Yep. Try to do it hands-free. That would
right now.
Advice would be. You don't want to lose the phone in a person. That would be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Unless the battery's really charged.
All right. Yeah, true.
Then it would be good. So, I don't know, Fred, do you have any closing arguments here?
Umstead 3 weeks from this weekend. Be there or be square. It's going to be a time. Everybody loves Raleigh in the spring.
Yeah. Rally around the family.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. The pocket full of shells. Well, boy, I don't know what else to say at this point. I think, except that if, I guess we could say like, thank you everybody for listening.
Yes.
Congratulations to everybody out there who's doing awesome shit. We'll see everybody at the to Hail and Back race, and also good luck to everybody doing Spring to the Trails. I think that's this weekend as well. And there might be some spots in that. So sign up for that Conquer the World race too. That's always a good time. Unfortunately, it was just a matter of two things at once. So, check that out. And I don't know. Thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, of course, seek professional help. And we will see you all in a mile.
Mile and a half.
All right. Lucy, I'm home. All right. So, question is for the Magic 8 Ball, will this be our most listened to episode ever? Let's see. Outlook not so good.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh boy. Well, it was still fun though, right?